Champion select one more time. Gangplank once again banned. Nidalee once again banned. He's going to be the karma to follow. So we'll see whether Newbee changed things up at all, or whether it's just going to be in the picks.
Yeah, so honestly, you can't even say it's about pick and bans because Newbee, they had a great composition.
Yeah?
That is a comp that is renowned worldwide as the meta comp, the prime pick comp. They just need to come to a position where they play it cleaner. They can't afford to be making these mistakes this late in the season, especially if they do make it into the playoffs. They're going to be facing a lot of top-tier teams.
And we certainly are, but Newbee making some adaptations here as the Trundle is going to be banned away from Savoki. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Karma and Trundle both removed from that support player. As Twisted Fate banned away from Dade one more time. I thought that might be a blue side special, but no. GT just don't want to see it.
Yeah, so I really do love the ban on Trundle because a lot of these fights were just pretty much Trundle laying down pillars, really denying the engage and pick from happening. And if the pick happens, there is no follow-up coming down because pretty much Trundle has set up such a large slow field and just a random construct on the field. So really, you take that out, perhaps you minimize the annoying factor coming from game talents.
Yep, I like it a lot. Newbee now looking at the Shen as their first pick. Of course, GT picked up the Hecarim first last time. And of course, GT probably happy to go up against this, but now with that Super Tank unable to get subjugated, might be a better choice. So Wusheng back on the horse.
Yeah, I really like the Shen pick. Honestly, V even makes that look like a carry pick.
Yeah, it does.
He plays incredibly well. He's trapping people in matchups. This is not the V we would see like a year ago. He's changed quite a bit. He's really evolved into, I don't want to say a team leader, but definitely just a solid force on that lineup.
Yeah, and so flexible as well. I mean, you see the Shen, but of course his Aurelia is very, very strong. His Na has been strong as well. Oh, sorry, not his Na.
Aurelia?
Yeah, his Maokai, sorry.
Yeah, his Maokai.
So when he's on the big tanks at the same time, still looks very, very good.
Exactly. He's always willing to take the initiative to go straight into the fight. He knows his team will follow up.
Yeah, well, Newbee are going to be mixing it up here as Dade thinking about heading towards the victor of his own. I do like it. Take it away from Republic. Make sure that he switches it up. More happy with the Alistar pick.
And you see the Sivir Hecarim, and you know what game you're going up against. Yeah, we can win, but my God, I'm not going to feel happy about it even after the game.
Yeah.
How he plays LeBlanc in team fights, like you can never really target him down. How the Savoki himself is so disengaged-minded that they can pretty much, like maybe they'll lose the fight, right? Maybe Game Talents will slightly lose out in that fight, but Newbee will just feel awful about winning it.
And there's also the fact that once again, Game Talents have this really, really sticky front line in the Hecarim and the Echo.
Yep.
They can get onto this sort of low-threat comp with the fact that Dade and Happy are going to be doing the majority of the damage. The biggest difference now for Newbee is the fact that Dade has a lot more AoE, and I guess reliable AoE there as well.
Exactly, and the last time we saw Dade in this pick, he went off.
Completely. Dade looked fantastic against Otto in that mid lane.
Exactly, he was diving 2 towers, just like, honestly, he was showing some great games, so the victor could be the pick.
Well, we'll see whether it is as the coaches shake hands. Let's get into game number 2 between Game Talents and Newbee. Thank you very much, Dade. And here we are, game number 2, Newbee versus Game Talents. Game Talents able to take game number 1 relatively convincingly after the mid-game. We'll see whether the change to the victor will be what does it here for Newbee.
Yeah, if anyone knows that LeBlanc versus Victor matchup, it's definitely Republic.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to play a little differently. I really want to see how this mid lane works out. How Dade handles it.
I want to see whether Wushang's going to give it any attention as well in that mid lane. This Republic, of course, does have the Ignite. The kill pressure is there.
I've been loving the surge of Grasp of the Undying on these melee supports lately.
Yeah?
It's really good. It kind of amplifies the point of the fact that they're going to be looking for those trades. So anytime you try and trade against the Braum, you know, an extended trade will definitely work in his favor because he's healing up just the same.
And also really likes auto-attacking as well, trying to get that stun.
Yeah.
And when he's up against Alistair, he's probably going to have the opportunity to wail on him fairly often.
Yeah. And so support players are getting a lot more comfortable with that mastery page. I know that initially it was coming up as a range, like a Thresh can really pick it up and go up against a melee support. And you'd be like, yeah, these are free auto attacks I'm dishing out.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you know what? Braum versus Alistair, still the same. Doesn't really matter if you try and trade back as we look into a possible lane swap.
Well, once again, you can see GT moving both members down here. Winter's Bite lands onto V, who has to immediately use the flash. Swift now exhausted up. There's the concussive blows. PentaQ trying to get the auto attacks down, needs another 2. As Savoki flashes in and picks up the first blood. Oh man, you take away his 2 favorite champions, it doesn't matter. He flashes forward, kills people on Braum.
My God. You know, the thing about Savoki is that he is the weirdest support. You see supports coming in through solo queue, and they play Thresh. They're the Thresh mains. They're the Bard mains.
Yep.
You know, take Destiny into their own hands. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to play the most disengaged champions. But it's, you know what? But Braum does both at the same time. He takes the fight. They take the skirmish.
Yeah, so GT already looking more flexible as Swift finally turns back up. They will start on this blue buff on the other side as the lane swap continues. Newbee, of course, up towards the top side of the map. We're getting towards this turret relatively soon. You can see Gimgoon moving down as well. Won't have to use his teleport or anything like that, and neither will be. That is big. The fact that Shen and the Gragas don't have their flashes this early is just a big deal because you want it on a Gragas. At that level 3 mark, I mean, Republic's going to feel very safe there in the mid lane.
Exactly. A lot of safety coming in. Doesn't really matter if even Shen has the early priority in these lane swaps. They can't just go for the flash taunt, the flash Gragas body slam. It's just not possible.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah.
you can see Wushang moving throughout the enemy jungle. Does grab himself some Krugs. As Swift is going to do the same thing on the other side. No Cinderlings for him to take. As, of course, Wushang was able to lock his down. And the horse at 18 CS to the 7 of Swift. He's so far behind.
Yeah, so that does mean a lot for him. Hecarim's going to be feeling a lot more safer, and the same with LeBlanc. The fact that he was denied his Raptors camp, got killed, so he was a lot slower to come right back on, and of course Hecarim just clearing out his camps easily, like very easily.
V as well, only level 1 here up against Gimgoon. The dragon is going to fall down, so very early 4-minute Infernal Drake for GT. We'll be very happy with that as they scale on.
Yeah, that's really strong. Game talents and their objective focus have always been something that's been good. It's always been a great point in their team. The fact that they get these lane swaps is always really great for them because also, you know, they're not the best laners. That's not a bad thing if you can pretty much mitigate it with a really solid strength in their team fights. And pretty much their objective focus.
Well, at the moment, you can see Republic makes his way back in. Dade avoids the chain by moving towards Republic, which was cute.
Could have been disastrous, but it works out.
Yeah, Dade actually takes a little bit of damage. Is otherwise okay. As Republic trying to deal with this minion wave. Will so. Looking to stop the back here of Dade. Does so nicely. As Republic ducks back to that distortion. And he's actually ahead on farm as he moves back in.
And we look to see, of course, another match on a lane swap. This was very unfortunate for the Echo the last game because he had to watch out. Now, he played it well. Gimgoon definitely played it well last time, but the threat was, of course, Shen would constantly be able to look for those skirmishes in a longer lane. This time, he actually has the turret on his back. So Echo is a lot safer, and now it's Shen who has to watch out, and PentaQ and Savoki that have to watch out.
And now you can see Savoki actually getting a bit of a flanking maneuver down here as he clears out this pink ward. He was trying to make room for Republic, who did shove that wave out.
Oh, here we go.
He's continuing to find his way up there. Happy and More moving out of the way. Ping's now down onto the LeBlanc, but they haven't seen her as Happy moves forward for an auto attack. There's the Winter's Bite. More in trouble, immediately flashes, but doesn't find the Pulverize and just knocks straight back into GT. Republic picks up that kill. Exhaust down onto Happy to make sure no one dies. And GT 2 now on the board.
Game talents this set have been playing so well. That was such a good call from them. They play so strongly on this top side. Now that was fairly risky because a counterplay could have happened with how long they were pretty much off the map.
Yeah, setting up.
Yeah, but Shen doesn't have his TP, and so that worked very well. And at the same time, Newbee was just unaware.
And they waited for the vision to be cleared. They waited for the Rift Scuttler to fall down. That pink ward was taken away by Savoki. The Republic instantly gets rid of that wave with the Mimic Distortion. We'll now head back to base and see whether he can grab that Fiendish Codex one step further towards the Morellonomicon, which will be coming very soon. And Dade, with the fact that Republic was in the top lane, Dade has got even CS now. So nothing lost from that movement out of Republic.
Yeah. So that's a really great look, honestly, for Republic. Has his early matchup advantage. So yeah, he can constantly shove into the victor up until he gets his first upgrade. But even then, he can constantly look for these trades like this.
Oh, and he goes one more time, but nice trade back there from Dade. Gets a lot through. Public throws down a Q, trying to pick up some extra farm for himself as he's got himself the refillable potion. We'll probably just be looking to try and mimic the wave when he can, get free backs in, keep that health bar moving on up.
But yeah, like Dade can't feel too comfortable. He's going up against a Echo and a Hecarim. So one Hecarim's already 6. So if he keeps shoving out this lane, if he keeps pressuring Republic, he needs to know that Republic, he can still be set up for the rest of the gank that could be coming to hit him. So he can't feel too comfortable right now.
Well, in goes Republic, gets the Mimic Distortion as he ignites down. Chains land onto Dade as in comes Wushang. Looking for it, but it's a good flash and Swift locks down Republic. Dade over to the side now, continues the aggression. Just an outplay there from the mid laner. Nicely done from Dade.
Yeah, incredible outplay. And he knew, or at least Swift knew, both of them knew, that this was exactly what was going to happen. The Hecarim was going to pay a visit. So he ends up flashing away from the Hecarim ulti, and Swift picks up the kill.
Yeah, perfect collapse there from Newbee. So they answer. They're able to pick themselves one up. 700 gold, approximately the lead here for GT as More moves back towards the top side. Doesn't have Unbreakable Will just yet. Savoki actually a level behind the Alistar. Zushang looking to steal away this red buff. The bottom side of the map. Will do so relatively easily. 47 to 39 is the CS as far as those junglers. Wushang looking to once again go for that first item, Trinity Force. Gimgoon actually up here looking to try and shove this wave through.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just trying to get these shoves. Probably looking to head back to base at some point. Here we go.
Swift is actually going to find Wushang here as he boosts himself forward. Dade knocked back towards Republic as the chains are there. Nice barrel comes in. Nice turret take from Wushang, but Swift completely out of mana now, in trouble as Gimgoon has the ultimate. He can tank this turret for as long as they like as Wushang. It's up to him to try and follow this through. He's not going to be able to. Thankfully, minion wave there, and GT now looking to try and get some damage onto this outer turret.
Yeah, so Dade needed to watch out for those two people I mentioned. The Echo and the Hecarim. He was able to dodge him out the first time, but of course flash cooldown is not very, you know.
It ain't your friend.
It ain't your friend.
It's
not your buddy.
And Savoki actually looking to try and get some pressure onto V. Moves out of the way, good heads-up play. PentaQ now picks up this wave. Ricochet doing a bunch of work. And Boomerang helps him with all of those creeps. 80 to 80 as far as that farm is concerned. PentaQ and Happy completely even. But it's a hammer as opposed to that BF sword that Happy managed to pick up early. Now Republic going to grab this blue buff. So even on farm with Dade. Of course, as this game goes on, Dade going to be happier and happier, just clearing minions, feeling safer.
So it feels like whenever we see a Jhin or a Victor, it's always, can he survive? If he can, then you can win the fight. You're gifted with the win. But in this case, with Echo coming at you, but specifically LeBlanc. Now LeBlanc is a beautiful pick because it doesn't really even need to. If there's ever a point where she's not comfortable going up against the Victor, then she can always just look to head back, go towards the objective, and of course they have that pink in the bush, so he can just pretty much use it and hide.
You can see GT set up for this dragon. Teleport coming in from Newbee, though. They want to fight this one out as Gimgoon dashes over. They look for Dade and just pick him off.
There we go.
Everyone on GT together. Now a 4 versus 5. Gimgoon relatively low, but Rushang has the flank. No ultimate available. Understands that he can't necessarily get it done. Knocked against the wall there by Swift. Has a lot of damage, and it looks like GT just moved back to this dragon. Look to lock that one down if they can. Volley comes in, and in comes Rushang. Locks it up, and that is 2 Infernal Drakes now for GT, and they are playing so well.
So well. So I was wondering why Republic was positioned in the way that he was, but they knew that Dade was coming in that direction. They set up that trap so well, and the moment he showed himself to be alone, that's just, he is not going to live. Like,
yeah, it was lights out.
Yeah, that was just it for him. So really, really smart play. They know how to pretty much take this game, or at least how to take an advantage in a fight. They know that Dade, if he's ever alone, if he's never with the team, or at least not with the team in that specific instance, then he's going to be pushed out, killed.
Oh, and once again, actually, Dade getting punished for this extra pricey Hex score as well. Wants to pick that one up next. You can see he had to go back, bought boots, bought himself the Negatron cloak, another Doran's ring. It's going to be a long time before he does have that relatively instant wave clear. Has hit level 9 already, but you can see now Republic still with control of this wave. Dade has to go back, needs to get that upgrade.
He really does. And this is a big point with the nerf that came with Victor's initial back timing, right? You keep coming back to base and you never really have the gold for the upgrade. And you just, I guess you just constantly have to get a constellation item. It was like, okay, I'll get another Doran's ring. It's like, all right, I'll get Negatron cloak, sure, right? So, yeah, it's really awkward for him now. Especially in this matchup, definitely doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Well, Gimgoon shoving out this top wave. Happy's going to answer. As he picks that one up, the rest of Newbee are moving up here. You can see 1,700 gold leader Savoki finds V. Decides to Winter's Bite the Krug, though, instead. He's not really too focused on killing the Shen.
Yeah, it's always about denial. It's like, you know, you can live, but we're taking your Krugs.
Yep.
That's ours now.
Does so nicely there as well as Republic does get in a nice Mimic Distortion on top of the queued up Dade. I believe, was that Distortion, Mimic Distortion with a Q in the middle so that he procs the Sigil? Looked pretty cute, whatever it was.
I think so.
Not much of a LeBlanc player myself. Too many mechanics needed. GT looking to try and steal away this red buff. And do so easily.
There we go. But yeah, I've played a bit of LeBlanc, and I think that's where the majority of the losses came from. I'm not going to lie.
Thankfully, it's not happening on the Poppy.
Ah, yes.
Which none of these players have actually decided to pick up. A little bit unfortunate for this series. It was fantastic with game 1 for Saint, though. Acorn looking good. See whether she makes a bit more of a resurgence. But back in here, V is looking to try and answer Gimgoon. His tower down to about half health. V changing up the build a little bit. Now that he doesn't have that early advantage, it's the Balmy Cinder. And of course, the Spectre's Cowl. Going for the Sunfire Cape and Spirit Visage to lead things off. Wants to be tanky as fast as he can.
Yeah, definitely. So Dade is going to be the main damage force on the team. And that's just pretty much how they want to play it right now. V is completely healthy right now, so any dive that comes onto him won't be effective.
Well, they are able to take down the turret from underneath him. You can see the bottom lane's being shoved out. Republic's heading down there, but there's no turret there to worry about. That was the lane swap turret.
Oh,
do take it.
Out. At this point, LeBlanc is at a good point in her item spike where you cannot send Ashe alone in this wave to push out. Even if Ashe has Alistar, LeBlanc should be able to just burst him down.
You can see more over to the side. Does have level 6, so the Unbreakable Will can save him potentially if he can time it right. Gravity Field came in, Savoki avoided it. Clears himself out that vision. There's a cute ward towards the top side there for Newbee, but will die relatively soon. It's now more waiting around, just being a ward. Try and stave off Republic.
Yeah, he really needs to just constantly sit there, or else Ashe will just get deleted. So right now, this has been a pressure point. LeBlanc is pulling 2 people constantly to this lane. If she doesn't manage to do it, then that's pretty much a free kill for her.
You can see now Savoki actually making his way in. Pulverize comes down. On the hunt comes through from PentaQ, though. Actually looking to try and lock this one up, but the blue buff is disengaged from. Newbee understand that this is a dangerous position. Dragon up again, minute 20. Republic starts the blue. Wushang going to head over the top, can smite it if needed. And Swift throws through a barrel, and I think Republic will be able to lock this one up and does so with the Distort.
Okay, so right now Game Talents is setting them up with a solid 1-3-1. The Sivir is constantly going to be able to shove this wave out. They can't really threaten this wave. And LeBlanc is going to challenge anyone on Newbee to come and challenge her.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you know what? I'm here. Who's going to come?
Yeah,
Can't be Ashe. Yeah, who can't be Ashe because it has to be Ashe and Alistar. And even then, it's kind of risky.
Well,
Cannot be Victor either.
Game Talents understand that they do have a lot of control. They're looking to go for the Rift Herald as PentaQ is continuing to shove things forward. V dealing with minions towards the top side now, of course. You can see Happy and Dade moving up this lane with more. Now just going to be able to sweep out that mid. So Newbee, no answer. And Gimgoon, his split push going to be much better this time around for the next 20 minutes. Okay. 37 is what we're looking at for that buff to fall off.
Yeah, Game Talents have been playing much better than they have, of course, versus ZDG. It feels like that set definitely humbled them.
Oh, yeah.
Really,
I think the last 6 sets have humbled them, you know?
Oh, you know what? They just keep getting humbled.
Yeah. Humbler and humbler.
Yeah, to the point where now they're just a simple monk.
Oh, it's definitely working out in their favor as Newbee cowering their presence thus far. 3,000 gold the lead for GT as the Cloud Drake has spawned. GT looking to try and augment those 2 Infernal Drakes as Swift could potentially walk into Republic here.
Really smart from Game Talents. They got their nice back timings right now, so right now Echo is going to be able to properly impact this matchup. Be ready for this dragon fight because we all know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBlanc is going to be constantly threatening this bottom wave. It's going to be shoving it a little bit until the wave is big enough that Newbee have to answer to it. And that moment's going to be, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's the headbutt pulve as the arrow flies through as well. Nice Unbreakable, and Savoki flashes out of the way. Lots of ultimates to try and kill this support. Newbee, they've got it out for Savoki, man.
Oh, they want him dead, and I'm not too surprised about that. Just look at him.
He's got a big old door.
Yep.
Two chains.
Just feels like his whole purpose in life is just to annoy you to death. And so now we don't have the ultis from Gragas and Ashe. There is no hope for them to even take this fight. They have to concede it.
Well, GTR just clearing out vision. Gimgoon's going to make his way in. V does so as well. As Dade in the mid lane wants to shove through, threaten that outer turret. As GT start off the dragon one more time. New and improved Cloud Drake, remember, as Swift takes another combo. Is just trying to get the jungler out of position as Savoki, another Unbreakable. Gimgoon stands off to the side. Wushang locks down the dragon, and now more possibly in trouble. Doesn't throw down the ultimate. As in goes Republic again, finds another chain. Not popping too much damage. It's GT, they get their objective and they leave.
Yeah. They were always fishing for a fight, but they didn't force for it. That's the difference between Newbee and Game Talents. If nothing comes of it, then they don't worry too much about it. They get what they came for, and that was the dragon.
Yeah. Move on back there as well. So PentaQ now looking to try and steal away a blue buff. They know exactly what the timer is. Hawkshot spots it out. Another opportunity for a fight, but it is going to be Wushang that grabs himself the blue. PentaQ wanted it. Not going to grab it this time, and Rift Scuttler is going to be the next option. And Newbee just can't seem to hold on to anything. That was a red buff stolen, then a blue buff immediately after that dragon. GT, control of the map.
Yeah, complete control. Now there is nothing on the map, so they can actually just completely shove out and head to back to get their items. So this is really smart from them. Really just playing this game out fairly efficiently.
Most certainly are, as Republic now building towards his first needlessly large rod item. We'll see what it is actually going to be, as he has an Amp Tome sitting there. I'd like a Luden's Echo, personally. Keep it purple.
You know, this use of LeBlanc reminds me of actually Xiao Wei Xiao.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much every time he gets his champion, which is either LeBlanc or Yasuo, he would find himself on the side wave just farming up a storm, really. And so his CS rate would be incredibly high, but at the same time, any time, he would also be denying CS because, especially with this newbie composition where pretty much Ashe and Victor both kind of have to share experience and farm because they're constantly being looked to go to mid lane, right? Now Newbee have done a good job where they sent Victor top, but now even Victor is in a really difficult position. He can't handle Echo.
Yeah, he's already built up so much magic resist that Gimgoon could probably just fight Dade off and ignore his damage.
Yeah, so now it's just a game of game talents winning by doing nothing, by keeping the setting as is.
All right, now Pentakill is going to go back to base. We'll see whether he picks up his Phantom Dancer or something else. Head in farm at the moment, but happy now with an opportunity to answer back. There's the Phantom Dancer completed, so Pentakill very comfortable. First item spike for him, really hitting. That extra CDR, meaning that those boomerangs will be flying through left, right, and center. And Republic just distorting himself around the map. Looking to try and answer this. And one thing that's brilliant, you can have an assassin there in the mid lane if you've got a Sivir.
Definitely. Sivir really does unlock a lot of things, and it does a lot for game talent specifically, especially since, you know, what they're trying to do is just unlock Republic.
Yeah.
Let Republic go. And so they're doing just that, allowing Republic to pretty much claim the bottom lane for its own. Now, of course, Echo is inhabiting that space.
It certainly is. Doing a good job at it too. Ahead by about 30 CS as that Trinity Force is coming in one more time. Of course, that spike, pretty large for Gimgoon last game. He was really able to turn things around. And the scary thing is GT are the ones with the lead in the early game. And this was when they were able to turn things around against Newbee's early pressure last time.
Exactly.
It's going to have to be the other foot this time.
It might be a lot more difficult because, yeah, Game Talents is a team that they don't really fish for those early leads. In fact, it feels like they can kind of concede it quite a bit with their matchups, right?
Yeah.
But then when they get the lead, either through these team fights that come through or just pretty much the enemy team or just stalling out the game, then yeah, that's really scary. But this is a game where they just legitimately get a lead first. So now it's Game Talents pressuring from the very beginning, what seems like to the very end.
Yeah, well, it's continuing definitely so far. Pentakill clearing out wave after wave in the mid lane. Rift Scuttler now going to go down as well as Pentakill happily critting it away. Now Newbee looking for a potential engage, but Swift doesn't find the barrel onto anyone. V's heading back to base. We'll see whether Newbee are actually looking for some sort of fight, because Republic's waiting for someone to find this wave.
And he's always doing it on a cannon wave too, so it's always the biggest base. And so right now, the one way Newbee comes back into this game is on a pick on either. Oh, here we go.
Well, that could potentially be it, but Savoki actually knocked to safety there by Swift. Bit unfortunate. Of course, the Unbreakable blocking that ultimate, I believe, stopped it midair. Couldn't get behind him.
Yeah, so that's the major point of also a very big reason why you'd want to take Gragas and Braum on the first rotation purple side, because if you take the Gragas, enemy team takes Braum, that is a one engage tool pretty much taken away.
Oh, Republic.
You're always going to be hitting a door. Here we go.
Yeah, he finds the first distortion. Nice gravity field comes through and is going to be able to lock him up for the moment. In goes Wushang. Stand United comes down, but Wushang can't close the gap. V gets the Shadow Dash, and now the horse left on his own. Dade lands the Q, and Wushang running fast, but not fast enough, and Dade grabs it.
Dade lives with a single HP. Thank God for the double Dorans.
Oh, yeah.
My lord. That was incredible. He was able to come out of that alive.
So close from Republic. Really good Stand United timing there from V as well. Made sure that his mid lane has survived. Good damage from Gimgoon in the meantime, however, on the bottom side in a turret. Still able to farm things up. And that's now... Okay, so it's Rabadon's Death Cap picked up by Republic. So That's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Void Staff needs to come in next, but my goodness.
Yeah,
Force to be reckoned with.
He really does favor the Rabadon. So one big thing is, of course, Q ulti. That's going to be the name of the game. He will look to delete you with that. So Ashe should feel really unsafe. That's one combo on her, and she's dead.
Yeah. Oh, Wushang looking to try and make his way in here. Swift has the smite as Gimgoon comes through from the flank. Deathray doesn't find any targets. The Dragon once again engaged, and Wushang locks it up. That's a pick onto PentaQ, though. He's going down very low. Really good spell shield. Saves him from the Deathray as Happy takes a lot of damage. Can they get the Cloud Drake to come back online again? This 50 extra movement speed could be a big deal as Gimgoon trying to play interference off to the side. Good exhaust from Moore as PentaQ gets closed in on and destroyed by V. There's one pick as Gimgoon looking to kite out the rest of Newbee.
Yeah, it took a while, but they ended up getting the pick. And now it seems like they're trying to play defense. Game Talents is to get this mid turret down.
Well, Republic probably not going to be able to as Gimgoon meets up with him, takes the rest of Newbee with him. Now able to disengage successfully. Trinity Force done by Gimgoon.
But once again, Game Talents get the dragon off that.
Yeah, that's 4 dragons to nothing. And this is a new and improved Cloud Drake. You can't look at him and say this doesn't mean too much. That's a lot as Swift taking a lot of damage here from this LeBlanc. Republic very low on mana. Needs to try and get himself a blue buff if he can.
Especially with a catch composition. If you have this many Cloud Dragons, you go in with Sivir, LeBlanc, Hecarim,
yeah,
Echo, you are going to get chased down. So you better not find yourself in a poor position because Ashe and Victor will feel it.
We'll see whether Newbee can continue to keep themselves in good positions because that last fight definitely looked better from their end. Happy now has himself his last Whisper as well, so he can cut through the relatively limited armor, to be perfectly honest, on the side of GT, but will come in relatively soon. Stade, Thunderlord's proc comes in. Chaos Storm on the wrong side there as Republic makes his way back. It's a big cooldown now.
Stade playing this so well. He knows the matchup inside and out, really denying LeBlanc from pretty much going back to her distortion.
Yeah.
And then and of course, if she did, she had to flash out. And so that's a flash burn on Republic. Honestly, Republic was trying to make his own pick. Didn't work out.
It certainly didn't. Just doesn't look to be doing the damage against the Abyssal Scepter now done for Dade. And they do find themselves in a good position to take down this outer turret. But PentaQ gets in there in time. Only down to half health now. The chip damage achieved by this Newbee roster.
So vision is going to be key here because LeBlanc can't kill the Victor. Oh, here we go.
Oh, in goes Gimgoon. Parallel Convergence looking for a stun onto Swift. Flashes out of the way. PentaQ off to the side as Savoki, big ultimate, but massive one out of Swift. Savoki's very low as Newbee's looking for him. Dade picks up that kill as Swift is so low. Wushang in the backline, but V is tearing them apart. Gimgoon has to leave, and it's a double kill for Dade. V playing this Shen so beautifully. We'll see whether they can look for a Baron.
I'm not too sure if they can, but they're going to go for it anyways. V is fairly tanky.
Oh, Dade! Off to the side, just in the wrong position.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not too sure about this now. This could be a throw. TP coming in.
Yeah, Gimgoon looking for it. Wushang does get the ward over the side. This Baron is very low. He's got the smite. Wushang gets in there. Not going to be able to steal the Baron, but can he get more as Gimgoon immediately deletes Happy. Wushang now running out of the way. Gimgoon very strong, but the body slam gets Swift to relative safety. Can Wushang get this pick? That's the real question. Barrel's charging up here. Does get the explosion, and there's the phase dive. Gimgoon looks to have tried to lock him down. So Wushang dives on top, and Swift is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Gets popped.
There we go.
Wushang gets the kill.
And so they do trade kills, but that's a Baron for Newbee. This is such a close game. I'm not too sure who can win this out.
Yeah, and V, the only one now with a Baron buff as well. So see Gimgoon moving over to the side. Has his Guardian Angel completed. This full tank Shen. Very scary.
It really is.
Oh, actually, Mora's got the Baron buff as well. He respawned in time.
Ah, there we go. So, as I was saying, the real key will be in the vision control because LeBlanc can't kill the Victor in point blank. Can't look to just pretty much W in and try and, mess with him. It's not going to happen. We've already seen it before. So he needs to get the pinks down. They need to get their vision down and hopefully get a pick. they need to pretty much create it for themselves. Let's see if they can.
Oh, spread buff goes down very low. Dade steals it away with the death ray. Does a lot of damage now as well, of course. Rylai's Crystal Scepter on the way to augment his already completed Abyssal. The Republic will shove through this wave. Wants his Void Staff ASAP. Sitting on some awkward items right now as well, so see what he can grab on this next back. Infinity Edge almost there for Pentakill as well. I mean, this Game Talent's roster is still waiting on item spikes from their mid laner and AD carry.
Yeah, you gotta believe that now that he sold his refillable potion and now he was looking towards his Void Staff, that one pick will mean it.
Yeah.
Will mean the game. And
Oh
see,
my
right
goodness.
That was too close for comfort. That
was also 2 spells.
Yeah, that chain landed. That should have been it. But yeah, he walked out. He walked away just in time. That was really scary. And so that's going to be the ticket. Republic is going to be the key to Game Talent's victory. If they can get the pinks down, if they can control them. If Dade and Happy ever misstep, Republic will delete them.
It certainly will, but you were talking about Dade. He's now got his Rylai's Crystal Scepter. He's feeling very, very good. This teamfight control coming out of the Victor. We've seen it before as Savoki. He's going to get caught out. Pentakill comes in with the On the Hunt, though, as Moore taking a lot of damage. Republic lands the chain as B. Gets a brilliant Shadow Dash.
Oh.
There's the arrow, and Dade picks it up with the Chaos Storm. Wushang now has to run out of the way. Pentakill in trouble. Big headbutt pole. And Moore's able to lock down Pentakill. This guy looks brilliant on this Alistair. You can see Gimgoon, not enough that he can do, and Newbee win the team fight.
Moore's Alistair comes right back. I'm telling you, he is a all-star Alistair player. Showing it this game.
That looked brilliant.
Really well played. But that was such a good Ashe arrow. Pretty much nailing the LeBlanc. Not really able to do anything. And honestly, that goes right back to the point. Republic needs to live. Republic needs to be the main force on his team to get his team ahead.
Well, you can see Savoki, not a lot he can do as this inhibitor will fall down. Newbee taking control of the game. 3,000 gold in the lead, close to 4 for the first time this game.
Yeah, tower after tower into an inhib. That was such a massive gold swing that we just saw there.
Yeah. The Baron buff, of course, from earlier, as we're seeing the gold difference now. One of the largest gold leads of the game happened in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was great timing from the goal difference there, because that was really incredible. They were able to get so much off of that. Really, even though they got the team fight, that really didn't mean much in the sense that they got the team fight and we're healthy enough to just pretty much power down through these turrets. So Game Talent's right back, going for the dragon.
Yeah, looking for the back timings from Newbee, but a lot of them have made it back into position. Only Happy missing. But probably wants to come in a little bit late anyway. Parallel Convergence goes down, but Gimgoon not going to try and get in there. It is going to be taken away by Swift as V right in amongst it. Decent phase dive over the wall there from Gimgoon, who's very, very quick. On the Hunt has been popped as they're looking for Wushang. Gets the body slam. He just ults himself over the wall. Good play from the Hecarim, but the arrow's going to land onto Gimgoon. Pentakill flashes out of the way. Ultimate from Gimgoon gets him over to the side. Could actually fight Happy out here, but he's getting slowed down. Chaos Storm came in. No one dead just yet. It's just a Cloud Drake picked up by Newbee.
That would have been 3 Cloud Drakes. I'm not too sure if that would have meant much because they were actually now in a losing position for these fights. But, my god, Newbee is able to take these fights away. Even Swift was just stealing the dragon.
Yeah, beautifully done. Of course, that was a 50-50. Everyone was in that dragon pit.
Yeah.
As it goes to LeBlanc, but immediately goes back to the distortion.
Now the question is, who's LeBlanc going to be able to kill? Has to be the Ashe. Victor right now is so strong. Now with the Shen ulti pretty much to help him out with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, basically giving him so much HP along with the MR.
Yeah, you can see really serious faces on these mid laners as well as Republic helps clear out these super creeps in the mid lane. Newbee goes back to base. Everyone refilling on items. Zeke's Harbinger actually done here from Moore as well. Happy's going to be doing a lot of damage. His Kai potential is going to be insane on this Ashe.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see. This game does mean quite a bit for both teams.
Yeah, well, this is 3rd place. Whoever wins this gets out of the way of Invictus Gaming, most likely. The other one has to be wary, make sure that they can win an extra couple of games. But also, you move up that gauntlet. It's a better position
And this game would mean so much for Game Talents. Game Talents right now, with their massive losing streak.
Yeah, precisely. They do grab themselves a turret against the flow. You can see the rest of Newbee were moving topside. GT just playing on that positioning. We'll actually spot them out. On the hunt flies through as the arrow is going to land. Moore taking a lot of damage. Savoki threw up the door. The ultimate came down from Swift, and look at the knockups here coming out of the ultimate from Savoki. He's in trouble from the Chaos Storm, but Pentacu's fine. Republic off to the side as well, doing some good work. V in trouble in the mid lane. Republic kiting around nicely, picks up more. There is more work being done, though, as Pentacu's crits are massive. Wusheng now finds the Ash, picks it up with a Rampage, and it all goes wrong for Newbee. The Baron had just respawned as well. That is really an optimal timing.
Wow, such a bad timing for Newbee, though. That was incredible. It was pretty much Pentacu at this point, able to pretty much solidify, just untouched in this team fight. And remember, you're going into the 36-minute time zone. Just look at this.
Just ridiculous. And Republic gets out of the way of the arrow this time. It's Savoki, tanks it up with the Unbreakable.
Yeah, and so look at V trying to get as much damage, trying to lock him down. Cannot do it. Pentacu able to pretty much hammer through this team and is able to pretty much get her Ricochet down too. Republic we talk about Republic's team fighting with LeBlanc. He showed it pretty much picture perfect in that team fight.
Yeah, ducking and weaving throughout the fight. One thing I do have to say, though, Swift's ultimate was pretty unfortunate as V was going for like the super sweet flash shadow dash onto 3 people, but unfortunately they all just got barreled away. Look at that, 7.6 thousand damage from Pentacu. This Civ is online.
Yep.
As now V caught out of position, does have the GA, but the chains land. There's just too much CC out of GT.
And that's
now going to pop that one first. And look, you can see it's actually a base race being opted into here for Newbee. V's going to fall. Immediate empowered backs come in from GT. So they're looking to keep the rest of them split, pushing on the bottom side. They decide to cancel most of those backs.
Yeah, when you have Baron, you can pretty much pick whatever you want there. There is no threat of not basically having your backs canceled. So they get the free turret based off of that mind game happening.
Oh, Dade's going to be a little bit late to this bottom inhibitor turret as Republic just puts his face in it more. Oh my goodness, so much damage. As this turret immediately falls down. Inhibitor respawns in the mid lane as well for GT as they destroy the bottom inhibitor of Newbee. What a turnaround play. We thought Newbee had this game back in control, but that one team fight just looked so good. Gimgoon as well doing work here in the mid lane, and this lead is only extending further. Now 4,000 in favor of GT. The swings. That goal graph must start to look like a heart monitor.
It really, really should, because with LeBlanc getting the Void Staff, able to pretty much take these fights and chunk the tanks themselves, what stops her?
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the point.
Right now it looks like Ashe is picking up the Banshee's Veil, but that seems to be the key right here. We do need to see more Banshee's Veils to pretty much at least deal with that.
This is an Ashe now with 3 damage items in comparison to Pentacu is almost 6 items in. Once that Mercurial Scimitar or potentially something like a Bloodthirster, that'll be 6 damage items for this Sivir, who's close to 100 CS in the lead. Just terrifying. Pentacu has just hit his point, and now Newbee have to stand up and recognize they can't be throwing all of this CC at Republic anymore because he's not the threat.
Yeah, it just shifts right into Pentacu's court, able to get pretty much 400 CS at the 38-minute mark. So that is incredible. He's always been focused on that CS. He got the free waves in the mid lane, and now he's going to be the first really hit that major point.
Well, now it looks like GT's favorite thing, the Elder Drake. Boomerang finds Swift. Just a little bit. Pentacu has to be a bit careful. Doesn't have a lot of mana, but of course the Essence Reaver will help him out with that. Republic has the Zhonya's though.
He does.
That is a very strong LeBlanc.
And so when Snake faced Game Talents, oh, here we go.
Oh, Swift in trouble, takes a QR combo, but it's not the big one as Moore has to flash his way out. The Stand United comes in. Newbee's communication looking a little bit questionable actually as Gimgoon throws through another Time Winder. Wusheng off to the side, wants to engage. May not necessarily be able to, as he's just going to clear out some minions here in the mid lane, and GT are closing in. Pentacu Get some big ricochets across, but the crits don't land onto the players. V, oh my god, that's the 1-2-3 punch.
Major wave coming in the bot side, too. They're just playing with Newbee, and so that really comes towards GameTown's strength. Once they get the lead, once they get the tempo, they play with that tempo so well.
And I don't think it is ever an all-in with GT as well. They play around these team fights so effectively.
Yeah, and this is something Newbee needs to learn. Newbee gets to these points where they get these leads, but man, do they not know how to back away. They just don't disengage properly, but GameTown, on the other hand, they got... Look at that.
Yeah, Gimgoon actually off to the side, just playing interference, uses the ultimate, gets himself out. On the hunt has been used. V's going low. Republic over to the side. It's exactly where he wants to be as he gets stunned by the concussive blows. Will stay alive for a little bit longer, but look at the AoE coming in from PentaQ. He's exhausted. Massive pulverize. Can Moore get the work done? But no! Republic's massive over the side. PentaQ is alive for the moment as Happy flashes over. Good spell shield, but PentaQ doesn't actually need it. Wushang can't get over this wall. Oh my goodness, Happy with the sick outplay and Moore over the side as well with the headbutt pulverize. And GT can't find the fight.
Holy, it's just a power. It's not done yet.
Finds Happy. In goes Wushang. Could this be the closer from this team as they both close in? Jungler and top laner to save the day for GT as Swift is running for the hills.
Death timers looking at 40 seconds.
24 onto Dade as well as V was probably the first to die. So 19 seconds on him. Gimgoon and Wushang looking to try and close this game out. If they can, they don't have a minion wave. It's coming relatively soon, but Swift is going to be up.
Nah,
He's going to clear this out and leave. I don't think they can either.
Yeah, that was... Gragas could have held on to it too. So this game is incredible. This is way too back and forth. And
oh, yeah.
And you think, like or at least I thought that PentaQ had the perfect position to pretty much take that fight.
Happy's flash over that wall.
Yeah. Happy was able to pretty much bring it on back, and the big point too was V was able to single out LeBlanc and pretty much chunk her down. Look at that.
God, that damage from PentaQ is insane.
And
GT, they're going to start it up again.
Yeah, and you'd expect more damage coming out of LeBlanc, but because of how well Republic has been playing her, but V was able to pretty much deal with her very well.
Oh, another scrying orb comes in. Svoki playing interference over to the side. Headbutt goes back onto Gimgoon, who's not too worried about the situation. GT have jumped in. Massive taunt from V gets him in over to the side, but Moore is already dead. Look at the knockups as Republic still alive for the moment, but PentaQ's dead. Wushang in trouble as well as Dade closed in on by both Savoki and Gimgoon. Now Republic turns his way through, picks up the Mimic Distortion onto Dade. Now V and Swift very low. Without PentaQ, can GT actually finish this off? That's the real question.
That's 3 for 1. Gimgoon has GA. That has to be the game. 40-second death timers. They can take this. They have a massive wave and a super minion too.
These are big burly members of Newbee though. Republic was so incredibly low, so they do just take the inhibitor back away then again. Wushang had moved up towards the top side of the map. Of course, just wants to be stealing camps, apparently.
Yeah.
And the Baron is now up. He's now heading straight towards that pit.
Yeah, so right now they're going to play it safe. These fights are so close. Gimgoon right now, or at least in the last fight, he pretty much he knew who the threat was. It was Happy. He singled Happy out, forced Happy to pretty much prioritize him before helping his team in the rest of the fight. And it was good that he did because that was such a close fight.
It certainly was.
If Happy had a single, or at least maybe 3 seconds, pretty much pulling out autos, Newbee would have definitely taken the win on that one.
Oh, well, you can see Swift staving off Gimgoon for the moment. Republic clearing out vision. That's scrying orb, and GT wastes no time. They've started off this Baron already. You can see the rest of Newbee are converging. Baron very low already. Swift throws over a barrel. Parallel convergence in there. Republic off to the side. Minding his positioning as there's the on the hunt. They're looking for it. Swift gets the stand united. Wait for the taunt from V.
Happy is
look
down.
At the damage onto Happy. Republic finishes off that duo as Dade's being chased by Wushang and Gimgoon. This is exactly their job. There's no damage left. And V is just running around this fight. Good taunt onto Republic, but throws down the Zhonyas and just distorts his way out. That is going to be the kill after the GA comes back. And that is a clean ace for GT, and they have super creeps on the bottom side. I said clean ace. I mean, A 5-for-1 trade. GT will still be able to take this game.
That has to be it. Game Talents finally getting the win that they needed.
So beautifully done as well. GT turning it around from what was about a 5,000 gold deficit. They lost the Baron. Newbee looked good in the team fights. But then from everyone after that, PentaQ's positioning, Republic's ability to play teamfight LeBlanc. Really beautiful to see from Game Talents, and a 2-0 victory over Newbee is exactly what they needed this end of the season.
Yeah, but look at Newbee right now. That is not happy faces, justifiably so.
Just got it, as you can see. Game Talents coming over, shake the hands of the disgruntled Newbee team members, and they played very well throughout that mid-game. They played very well in Game 1's early game. Just didn't quite come together.
Yeah, the thing with Game Talents was, they definitely needed this win. They didn't have the head-to-head with IG, right?
Yeah.
And so this was they were afraid of what this would mean in the standings for them. And if there was going to be a time for them to get a win, it was then.
It most certainly was. And they actually have to continue getting wins now as well to try and get themselves further away from Newbee. Newbee can make a resurgence, pick up some more victories, but thankfully for GT, they've already faced EDG.
Yeah.
They don't have that huge task ahead of them here at the end of the split. So theoretically, they might be able to find a couple more and really take hold of that third position, which they now own solely against Newbee.
Yeah, so that's going to be great for Game Talents. They have to feel really relieved from that.
Yeah.
You look at the rest of the group, now that the games are done here, you take a step back and suddenly you realize, okay, Saint's not a free win. IG's starting to play a lot better, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're Newbee, you have to step it up.
Yeah, and Newbee are going against Snake and Invictus Gaming straight after this. Of course, I believe one this week, another one the next week. Whereas on the side of Game Talents, they're against IG and Saint. The two teams that were beneath them, of course, probably feeling much better moving into those matchups. So this is a big deal. GT now feel like they're probably cruising from this point on and can get into those playoffs in a decently good seed in that third place.
Yeah, exactly. And with their win against Newbee, they were a team that they were really searching for that win, right? They were really searching for that win. And now that they finally got it, and they look at the improvements that they've made as a unit while still keeping their identity strong, they're sitting high.
Yeah, and the next thing that we are going to see, of course, is Newbee taking on Invictus Gaming. Of course, that'll be in the final week, and it's a very, very important match because, of course, if Newbee can win it 2-0, then, if IG can win it 2-0, then they'll claim the head-to-head. However, because Newbee beat them 2-1 first time around, it's only one game that they need to try and get to force into a tiebreaker. But we are going to have a look at today's results. As, of course, we began with Saint versus Invictus Gaming. IG dropping the first game, but looking really good games 2 and 3.
Yeah, great bounce back from them. Really solid. The way they adapted really does shine in this result.
Most certainly does. And Zatai making his way back to the top lane made the team look like a very different one. And this is the series we just saw. 2-0 victory for Game Talents. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it. Honestly, pipped Newbee to take this one down, but GT really turning it around. So we can see how this impacts the standings. Of course, Group A still with EDG towards the very top, but now Game Talents find themselves in sole possession of third. And then IG, Saint, and Newbee there as well. Still 5-9, still feeling okay. But that is only one loss behind IG. Of course, we are going to have a look at what's coming up tomorrow as well, as the action just never stops.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It just continues with
more and more. And we move over to Group B now as well. So IMA versus WE. Once again, we're going to see this battle for second place. And finally, it's going to be resolved. WE can possibly get their revenge. And then LGD versus Vici. And this is do or die for LGD. This is a team that's used to getting into playoffs. They're used to getting into playoffs from positions that were relatively low on the ladder and then making runs that everyone dreams about. And this is where it starts because they have to beat Vici here.
Exactly. They're kind of like the comeback kids. Every single time you count LGD out, I know I have.
Yeah.
Usually I'm like, nah, they'll come back. They'll do it. You know, they have waylists. But this time they don't have waylists, right?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, they're like, usually it's like they have PWL. For the longest time, they didn't. Now they do. So a lot of insecurities, a lot you don't really know. But this time, they're showing great games with new players.
They most certainly are, and Punished actually looking a lot better there in the mid lane as well. I mean, we'll ignore the fact that Rise play cost them a 11,000 gold lead and then eventually the game, because this guy has really been stepping up. Apart from that, everything else has been really, really good. Lots of aggressive play. Marin's found himself on this team, looking much better. Control of his lane as well, not just getting camped out. Fantastic stuff from LGD.
Exactly, and the biggest thing is, even though we kind of like criticize Punished on Rise, right? He got them his team the lead to begin with. He was playing so proactive. I've never seen it from him. I've never seen Punish pretty much move out of his lane and start taking control, and that's exactly what it did.
Yeah.
Now you went a little bit too far, step too far, and you're like, oh, okay, well, you cost us the game, but hey, you know what? That's how you learn. And honestly, yeah.
Well, of course, we are going to have the MVP from that last match as well. As you can see, Wushang's going to pick it up. 6-1 and 12, 78% kill contribution. Didn't do a lot of damage, but the horse was pivotal in controlling those fights and locking down all of the key objectives.
Yeah.
Not sold?
I'm not
You think
sold.
PentaQ probably deserves it?
I would say it's, yeah, pretty much either PentaQ or definitely the LeBlanc in Republic. Republic is definitely the key in a lot of the cases. He was able to pretty much be that sole threat.
Ooh, that happy delivery service was pretty amazing from Wushang, though.
Okay, you know what? I'll give him that one.
Yeah, I'm getting sold, honestly. Getting the pickouts in the late game, honestly, like that is what's most important, really, is when it comes down to these coin flip team fights. Newbee are a team that are known to fight in the late game very, very strong. GT just did it better, and a lot of it had to do with the horse.
Exactly. So for the longest time, I was like, I don't know. You know, Republic and both, like, they were playing really well.
Yeah.
But, of course, he was really pivotal in getting Ashe out of position, destroying him, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't actually ask your opinion of as well is the fact that Echo found himself back in the top lane 2 games in a row in the hands of Gimgoon. With this new Trinity Force build, are you sold? Do you reckon Echo top is back? Because I was sort of feeling like he'd had his time and is now not in necessarily that strong position.
Well, it still doesn't change the matchups, and the matchups is all really what matters, right? But then, of course, he's able to get past the laning phase, still have these fine, like, for him, the matchups are fine, like the Shen matchups, whatever. That's all right. But he's able to, it's all about the team fight when it comes to game talents.
Well, we'll see exactly what happens moving forward for game talents. But that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you again tomorrow.